You're watching Truth versus Hype. We're here tonight to talk about something I'm not sure merited a full show, but we've reached the point where we're left with little choice, which is that the Prime Minister of India follows abusive handles on Twitter. And no matter how much the outrage this has provoked, he still follows them. Now here's the brief context. Mr. Modi has been a social media pioneer. He was an early adapter to Twitter and Facebook, and his campaign for India's highest office was powered by a massive mobilization of these platforms. But in its wake came a torrent of toxic abuse, bigotry, and even occasional threats from his fans to anyone who is remotely critical of him or his party. This has become the new appalling normal on social media in India. Now, the Prime Minister and the BJP could say, and they do say, that he has no control over abusive followers. Well, in a way, he does. He could repeatedly and strongly say to his online fans to not abuse in his name. But let's leave that aside. What is even more worrisome is that the Prime Minister, for many years now, follows abusive handles, something he has control over. In other words, embedded amongst the galaxy of world and Indian leaders that Mr. Modi follows are those who almost every day spew abuse, communal propaganda, and use crude sexist language. Until this week, the ruling party has never had to directly address the implications of this phenomenon, that by the Prime Minister following hateful tweeters, the BJP was tacitly endorsing abuse and hate at the highest levels. But the simmering outrage over this finally peaked when a number of handles sent out offensive tweets on the murder of journalist Gauri Lankesh, handles which the PM follows. The tweet which drew the maximum outrage was this by someone called Nikhil Darich. His bio says he's a Hindu nationalist and that he's followed by the Prime Minister, who tweeted, and translating from the Hindi, "A bitch died a dog's death and all of her litter are crying in the same voice." Later, he deleted the tweet and the reference to the Prime Minister following him. Then there was someone called Ashish Mishra, followed again by the Prime Minister. His bio says, amongst other things, that he's part of Team PM Modi. He retweeted a tweet reporting Gauri Lankesh's death with his comment, "Jaisi karni vaise bharni." In other words, she deserves her death based on her actions. Then there was another user who tweets from the handle Soul Facts, again followed by the Prime Minister, who tweeted this image of Gauri Lankesh with the JNU students Kanhaiya Kumar and Umar Khalid saying, "God had a different plan for the Bharat Tere Tukde Honge group." Now, when a number of others, not necessarily followed by the Prime Minister but part of the same ideological ecosystem, sent out similar gloating tweets on Gauri Lankesh's murder, the government finally spoke up. The INB minister said something which ought to be crashingly obvious, but in these times still needed to be said. Mr. Prasad said, "I strongly condemn and deplore the messages on social media expressing happiness on the dastardly murder of Gauri Lankesh. Expressing happiness on the killing of anyone is shameful, regrettable, and totally against Indian traditions. Social media is not for that." Mr. Prasad, however, didn't address the question of abuse and gloating from the handles followed by the Prime Minister. That was addressed by this peculiar defense put out by the head of the BJP IT wing. It says that he said the Prime Minister is a leader who freely engages with people on social media platforms. The statement said he's a rare leader who truly believes in freedom of speech, has never blocked or unfollowed anyone on Twitter, and the Prime Minister following someone is not a character certificate of a person and is not in any way a guarantee of how a person should conduct himself. For instance, the statement said the Prime Minister also follows Arvind Kejriwal, even though Mr. Kejriwal himself has used derisive language towards the PM. And finally, the statement lapses into what we call whataboutery, pointing out that both the Congress and AAP also have abusive followers. Now, this is a specious argument at many levels, but let's tackle the core of it. Are the abusers that Mr. Modi follows ordinary people, the selection of whom has nothing to do with an endorsement? We analyze, along with inputs from the fake news busting website Alt News, the profile of a sampling of abusive handles Mr. Modi has followed. Now, let's look at someone called Rahul Kaushik, followed by the Prime Minister. A sample of his views can be found in this tweet he sent out in January 2015 in context with a falsely created controversy over the then Vice President of India, Hamid Ansari, not saluting the flag during Republic Day. Why is this abusive term, Hamid Ansari didn't salute the national flag, comparing RSS org with that bastard Hamid Ansari. Well, only a traitor can do so. Rahul is seen here with the Prime Minister at an event held to felicitate these pro-BJP or pro-Modi tweeters. The same special treatment for someone called Ankit Jain, who tweets under the handle Indian Tweeter and followed by the Prime Minister, who uses the kind of language so abusive that we've had to actually blur out this tweet. Now, he was also invited to the same event where the Prime Minister met these tweeters. In 2015, in fact, the Prime Minister wished Ankit Jain on his birthday. There's also enough evidence that not only are abusers granted a photo op with the PM, but they may also be promoted to formal positions within the BJP. Take a gentleman called Suresh Nakhwa, again followed by the Prime Minister. In 2011, tweeted this abuse to someone he was locked in an argument with. He called him words which I can't use on camera, but also said, "You confirmed you're a product of rape, balatkar ki paidaish." Mr. Nakhwa has since apologized for it, but here he is at the same event where he met the Prime Minister and later was made a spokesperson for the BJP Mumbai. There's also a gentleman called Tajinder Bagga, notorious for directing abuse at the media or critics or rivals of the government. Here's an example from 2011 where he abuses Dr. Manmohan Singh's daughter, again language I can't read out. Subsequently, he also tweeted that in reference to the lawyer Prashant Bhushan, he's trying to break my nation. I tried to break his head. Hisab chukta. Congratulations to all. Operation Prashant Bhushan successful. This is shortly after he and his supporters attacked Prashant Bhushan. Now, again, here is Mr. Bagga with the Prime Minister, and later he went on to become Delhi BJP spokesperson. Now, these are just a few examples which debunk the claim that being followed by the Prime Minister is not a certificate. In fact, it confirms the opposite, that abusers who are followed by him can get promoted. Moreover, there's enough evidence that these abusive handles that the Prime Minister follows are not random people. They either belong formally or informally within the BJP Hindutva ecosystem. Take Dadich, for instance, the handle followed by the Prime Minister who tweeted the abusive comment about Gauri Lankesh as a bitch, is seen here in these images with Smriti Irani. Here is Ashish Mishra, who tweeted about Gauri Lankesh getting what she deserved with the Maharashtra Chief Minister. Or someone called Nikunj Sahu, followed by the Prime Minister, whose profile says that he is, amongst other things, a member of the BJP IT cell. Now, he sent tweets like this in 2016 to Arvind Kejriwal, again, language that is so unprintable that I simply can't say what it is. More recently, he tweeted in response to a news piece on Farooq Abdullah questioning the arrest of separatists, saying the country demands freedom from the pigs of Kashmir. Or someone who tweets from the handle Mahavir, whose bio says that he's blessed to be followed by the Prime Minister. His tweet directed at the journalist Neha Dikshit asks, "What is a commie Naxalite Nakul Sani doing in Neha Dikshit's bedroom? Payment in cash or kind?" ? He also sent a tweet to someone called Navendu Singh, which again uses language about mothers, which is so abusive that I can't read it out. Now, when his account was suspended by Twitter in 2015, a union minister, Giriraj Singh, was among those who fought to have it reinstated. So, what can we infer from all this? That online hate, abuse, communal falsehoods has sanction from the very top, and hate can at times incite real world consequences. And while we wait to know who killed Gauri Lankesh, can we at least ask the Prime Minister as a starting point to unfollow, sir, these handles of hate?